Welcome to 60 Skills. Today's topic is how to spot a fake guru. All right, fake gurus in the spiritual business are really common. I myself have spent many hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on seminar fees to go visit people and sometimes wound up with absolutely nothing. So let's talk about some of the ways you can spot a fake guru. The number one is the guy who spends more time on philosophy and less time on technique, often to the exclusion of technique, usually doesn't have anything. As has often been pointed out in the 60 Skills curriculum, performance of any of these tasks in esoterica or meditation is often predicated upon performing specific things in order. It's a lot like engineering. And that's because if these things really reflect the phenomenal world, then the reality is that's how it gets done. So anytime you run into a teacher who wants to talk philosophy ad nauseum and doesn't really want to get into the how he does it, that's your first really big warning sign. All right, what's another big warning sign? Some secret teacher that no one's ever heard of. This is another good one. See, the reality of the matter is mediumship is not a terribly hard skill to pull off. So many of these supposed masters out there who have some crazy story about training in secret with the guy that no one's ever heard of and their family has never heard of and nobody remembers them spending any time around, usually just channel this stuff out of thin air. Now, that's not to say they have absolutely nothing. What it is to say is that their story stinks, and therefore everything else they're presenting should be extremely suspect. The simple fact of the matter is we have to learn from other people. And I can tell you from personal experience, relying upon the spirit world as your guiding source for information to the exclusion of anybody in the real world is generally a really bad idea and tends to get a lot of people hurt. All right, what's another thing to look for in a fake guru? Well, somebody talking about how this is reserved for a special group of people. Again, as 60 Skills has oftentimes pointed out, really what we're doing is just a really strange form of engineering. The fact of the matter is anybody can do this if they're willing to spend the time and effort to actually go the distance. And the fact of the matter is you'll meet many people throughout life that when you get them in exactly the right place and calm them down and they feel they can be open without being embarrassed, will tell you that they've had many experiences that correspond to very high-level meditative phenomena. The simple fact of the matter is we're designed to do this stuff. So in terms of being special, other than being a human being, there's really nothing that special about it. So the idea that only a select group of people, of course determined by this supposed master, can do something, that's usually a really big warning sign. All right, what's another warning sign? Well, the idea that it'll take 10 or 20 years to learn how to do something. Complete and utter nonsense. If it takes 20 years to learn how to do something, then the simple fact of the matter is the guy's methodology sucks. And it's usually because they're holding back what little methodology they have. I have routinely seen people achieve a Kundalini awakening in as little as 30 days, and rarely more than 6 months once using the orbits properly. All of my personal students have achieved Akasha and non-dual light within a year and a half. The idea that this somehow takes decades to pull off is just complete garbage. It's not true. So anytime somebody says that it's going to take you 10 or 20 years to learn how to do something, that's another huge warning sign that they literally don't know what the hell they're talking about, or they simply can't do it. All right, what's another sign of someone is a fake guru? Anybody who goes on and on about emotion, run away in the other direction. Serious practitioners will all be honest about the fact that emotion is energy. That's all it is. It represents the astral. It is an intermediate phase in the level of reality. blathering on and on about it doesn't really get you anywhere, because focusing on that as the only thing you do also doesn't get you anywhere. It's not physical, and it's not non-dual light. It's just this thing in between. Now, it can be a very useful tool, but particularly the love gurus out there, you have to be really careful with, because most of the time these guys are, you guessed it, sexual offenders. The story of these guys raping their students, taking advantage of people, doing a bunch of drugs, generally acting like a jerk, go on and on. In fact, they're so numerous, I'd be hard-pressed to talk about them all in as little as an hour. So if you're dealing with somebody who just keeps going on and on about the emotional process, it's either someone who's not very bright, or someone who hasn't done much work, or someone who's looking to take advantage of you by, you guessed it, manipulating your emotions. Be very, very careful with these people. They are a dime a dozen, and they are all over the place. So those are some of the signs of what to look out for in a fake guru, or quite simply put, a con artist. And I will leave you with one final thing to keep in mind. Cults are common. Cults are common because some people simply like being told what to do with their lives. A true path of development results in you being a strong, vigorous, and independent individual, not someone who's dependent upon someone else. So if you run into an organization that looks up to a master as a model whose ability can never be achieved, look out. It's dangerous. And more often than not, the followers of these individuals are far more dangerous than the individuals themselves, mainly because they're extremely unbalanced people. So when it comes to cults, keep your eyes open. There are a lot of them out there. So if you like today's discussion, please hit the subscribe button down below and give us a like. And if you'd like to learn more about the 60 Skills curriculum, check out the links in the details portion of the video down below. Otherwise, have a great day and be well.